Hello and welcome to another episode review for the Love Live Nijigasaki anime, this being episode 10. I'm Callan.
And I'm Honey Panda Bunny. Overall, the episode was enjoyable. It was fun to be able to see the girls goofing off together and also having their fun attempt at training. This episode wouldn't be the best one for me, but I definitely had a lot of fun while watching it.
I thought that it was a fun little episode that mostly set out what it wanted to do, although I do feel, at least for me, it was marred by some character decisions that we'll get into. But there was some really funny moments in this episode. We got to explore Yu's character a little bit, especially because she'd been out of focus in the last few episodes. As well, I do like that the episode introduced the focal point for the rest of the series, with a nice reveal at the end that not only ties this series, but even the game into it as well.
So it was really interesting seeing at the start with the test scores, with Kasumi obviously getting such a low grade. Maybe a foreshadow for Shiro Riko in the future, because obviously that's a big point in the game where getting their test scores up means that they can continue having the idol club. So maybe it was a foreshadow, maybe not, who knows.
Yu essentially brushes it off and says, we'll forget about that. It's training time.
It's even weird that Setsuna doesn't comment on it since she's obviously the student council president, so we'll see.
So the girls decide to have a training camp for this episode in preparation for their upcoming concert, and so Setsuna has them train at the school. They make food, it's very fun, Setsuna nearly kills Rina with her food, and then in the next scene we see luckily Kanata's made the save so that Yu doesn't have the same fate.
So it was really nice seeing all their food and it was really delicious. It made me want to eat it all. I love Kanata's pizza the most. Setsuna's food looked like hell, which we obviously in all the other Love Lives we always get someone that can't cook.
It's always that purple goop, you do see that in the game as well. Yeah.
But the bit with the board really did make me have a good laugh. It was really cute.
Yeah,
what if Rina wore the board all the time? That's what it made me feel like.
Yeah, it was well timed and it was very, very funny. And then obviously in that scene where they're all eating, they talk about what they want for their concert. The Yu was heavily inspired by the Diva Fest, which is what happened in the last episode. And I do like that this has a big impact on Yu throughout the episode, as we'll see in a later scene as well. And at the end of that scene, Ai puts the question to Yu as to what concert she wants to see. And that essentially sets up Yu's arc in this little episode. So after that, we have a Yumu and Yu reminisce about when they were younger together while they're cleaning. It's very sweet, and I do really like that we got this scene just before what will happen, because despite having a lot of episodes together where we're always seeing them, we haven't actually had a lot of these heart-to-heart conversations, so I was glad that they put it here. Yeah,
it was a really cute scene. Like you said, it does kind of like set it up for the rest of the episode as well. And it's always been really nice to be able to see a Yumu and Yu just having time together, sharing that solidarity together. Obviously, we got the Ayu bun in the first episode, so it's not as much of a callback, but it was nice to have them have this like cute time together talking about their past.
This episode does very well is the little interactions we get as we see that as they're settling down to go to sleep, we see that Karen is applying makeup and she's showing them all the makeup from her modelling magazines. We see Shizuku and Rinu playing together, and then obviously Kasumi's trying to rope them in for her mischief. And I just want to say throughout this episode that the first years are the best, and I honestly could have an entire series about their hijinks.
I really enjoyed seeing them all together. It makes the group feel really like lived in and makes them feel really close together. It was also really good to see Kanata finally getting some time with some other characters as well, because we do see it every now and then, but this one felt like she actually had more interaction with the group, because she's felt a bit alone, for me at least, in the previous episode, so it was nice getting all this time together with them all.
We do get that scene, I believe, later on where Kanata's like resting on Emma, so it's really nice that the third years are, it's not as, I'd say, as in-depth as the first year's dynamics, but I do like the third year are starting to interact more. It's not just Emma and Karen. I do like that Kanata's also being roped in there as well. I really like that little outfits that the first years have, you know, for them trying to prank everyone. We've got Kasumi as a vampire, Rina as a ghost, and Shizuku as a zombie.
Yeah.
And we get Ai interacting with them as well, which was pretty cute.
It was super cute. It's what I wanted. It's like what I said in the last review episode, that I really wanted this hijinks between them all, because it was something I really loved in the game. So it's really nice to be able to see it now, and it was as fun as I was hoping it to be.
So probably a really good scene that I really enjoyed was the scene in the piano. It's something I already liked in the third episode, and now here we've got a nice mirror that's echoing back to it, because you have Yu looking through the window, she's thinking about what she can do. What is it that she can do that she can provide to the club? She's still not sure as to what path to take, and so she sits down to the piano and she plays the song that first inspired her back in episode 1, Chase. And then Setsuna comes in, nicely mirroring episode 3 again, and they have a really nice heart-to-heart as well, almost mimicking the one that she had with Ayumu, but this one being about she's thanking her for, encouraging her to follow what she loved. If it wasn't for her, she wouldn't know where she would be right now. And that she says that she will return the favour, that when Yu knows what it is that she loves, Setsuna will support her full-heartedly.
So it was a really nice scene where they're able to talk about support and the kind of give and take of support. I actually wish they'd focused a little bit more on Yu's music over school idols, but she's always had this more interest in school idols, so it makes sense. So I'm not that fussed about it.
I do think they are hinting at it though, because obviously
she touches the piano,
she's playing
plays
chess,
it.
she's talking about it. It's obviously that she's developing an interest in music, and it's something that I'm hoping we'll see in the next coming episodes.
Yeah, so we get Setsuna saying obviously, oh, you can rely on me too, which was really nice because obviously Setsuna was the one that initiated that spark of interest in you. So that's why these two having such a close relationship makes a lot of sense here, and it always will be.
So from my favourite scene to easily my least favourite scene of the episode, we get the scene where Setsuna trips, and as soon as she tripped, I knew what was coming. Ayumu comes in, she sees what's happening, she can't really see what they're speaking about, and I'm already not a massive fan of where they take Ayumu in this episode, but this initially being started on a misunderstanding is something that really drove me insane. I know that it's going to go deeper than that, it's not just going to be about this misunderstanding, but this initial bit feels really cheap, and for me it reeks of forced drama.
As well, it doesn't really make much sense, because even Ayumu heard Setsuna going, oh, I'm going to go look for them too. So it makes sense that they go look. I suppose for me, I don't understand why Ayumu's so upset seeing Setsuna and Yu together, when Setsuna was looking for Yu also and the others, so I don't know.
It'll play into their little scene at the end, and I'll talk more about my feelings on Ayumu and Yu there. So we have the scene with the first years trying to scare the third years, but obviously this backfires and it's the third years that scare the first years, and apparently Karen is bad at applying makeup. I guess her makeup artist does her makeup.
Or maybe they're just having fun.
Maybe, who knows. Also in this scene, we see that when Setsuna is lecturing all of them for causing havoc, we see that Ayumu is out of it, and as I've already stated, I'm really not happy that this was initially started on by a misunderstanding. As they go to sleep, Kasumi gets taken out by Setsuna, obviously possessed by the spirit of Umi.
Which, yeah, I was about to say happens in the first Love Live as well, which was really nice. I've always loved these sleepover scenes. They're something that really brings all the girls together for me.
So the next day they start their training, but it turns into a tag game. The cunning Kanata catches Yu, pretending to be asleep. Yu gets sent to prison, and while she's in prison, being guarded by Kanata, she watches the Diva Fest again, and obviously inspired by there are people there who have never heard of school idols but start to fall in love. And this essentially is starting to turn the gears in her head as to what she's thinking at the end of the episode.
Yeah, she's starting to get this idea and realising that it's not just her that has this spark, right at the beginning of the series as we saw. It's happening for different people at different times as well. And that's the idea of, oh, well, why don't we bring everyone together and ignite new loves?
The relationship between fan and idol can be symbiotic, can have positives, and it can help encourage each other rather than it be something where you're kept at a distance. Everyone's caught, and we have them all at the pool. Conveniently, they've all brought their swimsuit. And I really like the little attention to detail that Rina's got a whiteboard to do her faces, which I thought was a really nice little touch.
I'm not gonna lie, when I saw all the girls in their really cute swimsuits and how intricate they were, I did actually think we were maybe gonna get a performance in the episode of all of them, which I knew wasn't gonna happen, but I was like, oh, this feels so strange that they're so elaborate.
I don't think we've had a swimsuit MV song
Other
in the series.
Yeah, but it was, I don't know why, but the way, how intricate they all looked, it made me think, oh, maybe we're gonna have a performance, but obviously not, because this is a U episode. But it was really fun being able to see them all have fun and play around with each other.
Who had the best swimsuit?
Oh, that one's a difficult one. I think I really like Setsuna's because I like her double buns that she has, which I think is super cute, but I also really like...
I really like Karen's. I thought she had nice colours.
Yeah. And surprisingly,
Kasumi,
I liked Yu's as well. I thought Yu's was actually really nice, which is plain black with spotted. So there you go.
Yeah. So we have Ayumu and Yu talk. I've already made it clear that I don't like where they're going with Ayumu in this episode. Ayumu is initially happy with Yu, where she's talking about how she followed her, as in Ayumu, into following her with her dream of becoming a school idol. But then as soon as she mentions everyone else, Ayumu's face drops. And I do not like this portrayal of jealous Ayumu. I think it is incredibly unfair to the character, and I don't blame the character, I blame the writer, because yes, she is jealous in the games, it is actually part of her character, but I feel not to this extent. And even in the game where they have a fight, it's also started by the fact that Yu has been neglecting her and ignoring her while she was focusing on the festival. And it is entirely possible that that will also factor into the next coming episodes, but this initial bit, it's soured me on it.
It feels so strong, like it's come out of like left field almost.
It feels petty. It feels incredibly petty, and her character is bordering dangerously on just orbiting around Yu. And it's just a disservice to the character having her linked to just Yu. Hopefully they'll explore this better in the coming episodes, but I did find that the start of this drama here I felt was not the strongest, and it is entirely possible that it will be resolved very well, and I'll happily eat my words if I'm wrong, but this initial introduction, it's not been good for me. With Love Live, it's never done drama well. It's always the weakest aspect of the series usually.
I'm feeling you on this as well, with coming a bit awkwardly here. I do feel like it's very, I don't want to say it's come out of nowhere, because obviously in like the Kasumi episode you see Yuma go oh kind of thing. I do think that it's been forgotten the last couple episodes, so that's why it's feeling like it's coming on so strong on this episode. And it especially feels so awkward when obviously before we get Yu thanking Ayumu. So Yu literally says, all of this that we have around us is because of you, Ayumu, for taking those steps, so thank you.
I feel just Ayumu as well as coming off as, I don't know, not intelligent. Because Yu's hanging out with other people, this somehow is like a negative. The idea that it can only just be those two, I think, is very dangerous. And I don't mind the jealousy aspect of Ayumu's character, but I just think they're overplaying it here.
It's a difficult one because obviously Setsuna was the one that inspired you, so of course they're going to get close together. And it also comes down to it of, in that first one as well, Ayumu saw how much, Yu was inspired by Setsuna, so I thought maybe it would go through her head here, or maybe that's where the initial jealousy sparked, that Setsuna was the one that inspired you, not Ayumu, so we'll see.
So anyway, Yu proposes a festival for all school idols, and I can't believe that I never actually thought about this. It's going to be the perfect conclusion to the series, that this is what creates the School Idol Festival from the original game, and this group is essentially steeped in that original game because 3 members come from it, and we've had other N-girls appear throughout this series. It's a great build-up, and I really can't wait to see it realised.
I'm super excited to see it too. I thought, that's really funny, like when we got to see the School Idol Festival. I was like, I can't believe this, because like you said, in the initial game, it is the person, Yu is the player, who is the one that initiates all these groups to come together and perform. It was really nice to be able to have an even bigger callback all the way to the first game, which was so nice.
We are definitely going to see every N-girl and school in the last episode. That's surely going to happen.
I'm actually hoping that with this now, that we're going to get this festival. I know it's not going to happen, but I can hope it's going to happen, that those other 2 groups are going to get a song each. And I'm really hoping, and I know it's not, but please.
I just don't feel there's going to be time.
I know.
We'll get one for the Nijigasaki, but the fact that I think every other school and girl is going to get animated, which is going to be really cool. Something that is really cool, just for the franchise in general, is the original and Sunshine. They both had Love Live as a contest. That's what was introduced, and that was the focus. And now Nijigasaki has introduced the School Idol Festival into the continuity. So this could have ramifications for future incarnations of the franchise. The next one, Liela, it's entirely possible that they could attend the School Idol Festival in whatever future that they bring. They could also attend the Love Live. So I do like that this introduced something as well that's added to the universe, essentially.
I actually really like that the School Idol Festival and Love Live are separate in this. So you kind of have this celebration of idols in the School Idol Festival, and then you have this competition of idols in Love Live. So it's really nice to see if this is going to be their goal in this series, and potentially maybe even the second one. What if Love Live is their goal in the next or later incarnations?
Yeah, I like the idea that we now have multiple goals as well, which is really interesting. It could be a big deal that you participate at the School Idol Festival, and then that leads you on to the Love Live, and vice versa. Overall, while I'm not really looking forward to the Ayumu and Yu fallout that's coming, I am very excited for the upcoming School Idol Festival. And next time it appears that we'll be setting the groundwork for it and coming up with their slogan, because the title for the next episode, Everyone's Dream, My Dream, it's the same as in All Stars. It's the one that they come up with to propose for their festival. So that is actually being kept in continuity with the game.
I'm also under the assumption that they're actually trying to get permission for the Idol Festival, because obviously we see a lot of shots as Nana where she's looking a little bit,
Well, if you see in that image, there's Yu and Kasumi, and obviously she's pretending to be Nana, so I'm assuming it's that she's putting on the portrayal of being someone who's naturally maybe almost against it at the start, but then she's like, I really want to do it, but obviously she can't just openly go, Nana can't openly admit, it's fine, you could just have a School Idol Festival.
Something I'm actually be really interested in, if they delve into this deeper, of her being like, I don't know if I can actually keep up these 2 personalities, because obviously one's so much more stoic than the other. and maybe even potentially Setsuna coming out as Setsuna and Nana as the same person.
It's possible. It could be something that is brought up in the next few episodes, or maybe even a potential season 2. Anyway, thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.